Well, the LA Lakers were back in action last night, and they didn't just win, they handled business in loud fashion. They crushed the Sacramento Kings 128-104, making it 2 straight dominant victories. And this came right after they took down the Golden State Warriors 129-100. That's back-to-back statement games from the old Lake Show, looking sharp on both ends of the floor. Now let's keep it real for a second. The Warriors right now are not the powerhouse version people are used to, and the Kings, they've got the worst record in the league and are clearly focused on draft positioning. Everybody can see the direction they're heading in, but this is still the NBA, especially the Western Conference, where nothing comes easy. A win is a win, period, and after dropping 3 straight games and looking completely out of rhythm, the Lakers needed these 2 badly. So naturally, you'd think the headlines would be all about momentum shifting and the Lakers finding their groove again. 2 clean wins, big scoring runs, strong defensive stretches, confidence coming back into the building. That should be the story, right? Wrong. Instead, the internet is buzzing about something else entirely, not even from last night's game, but from the one before against Golden State. A heated moment between JJ and Luka Dončić that has everybody talking. The clip is everywhere. Luka is casually walking off the court, body language calm but distant. JJ is trying to talk to him, clearly wanting to make a point. Luka doesn't even slow down. JJ follows him toward the bench. More words exchanged, Luka sits down, then suddenly he pops back up and a teammate lightly steps in like, alright, that's enough. It didn't turn physical or anything wild, but you could feel the tension through the screen. Luka clearly didn't appreciate whatever was being said. He looked irritated, like something crossed the line. And here's where it gets interesting. On the court, Luka has been producing. Against Sacramento in limited minutes, he dropped 28 points and 9 assists in just 29 minutes. Efficient, controlled, dominant, and in that Warriors matchup, 26 points, 8 assists, also in only 29 minutes. The numbers are strong, the impact is there. But now the conversation has shifted from performance to personality. That's how fast narratives flip in this league. One viral clip and suddenly the spotlight moves from wins to locker room vibes, and when cameras catch even a hint of friction, the speculation starts rolling heavy. It was another smooth win for the LA Lakers, and it came right after 3 rough losses that had fans stressing out. So on the surface, everything should feel calm again in Lakerland. 2 straight wins, big margins, good vibes, but instead of celebration, that confrontation from the Golden State game is what people can't stop talking about. Because let's be honest, when you first watch that clip, it doesn't look great. Luka Dončić appears to brush off his coach mid-walk, then there's that tense exchange on the sideline. From a distance, it can look like the kind of moment that fractures locker room. Ignoring your coach on camera, that's the type of thing that gets replayed all day. Now, I'm not saying it's nothing, but situations like this happen way more than people think. The only difference is most of the time they stay behind closed doors, in the locker room, on the plane, in practice, on the bus. Heated conversations are part of competition. That's normal in high-stakes environments. The only reason this feels bigger is because cameras caught it in real time. And remember, this clip didn't even blow up until late last night and early this morning. It wasn't even from the Sacramento win, it was from the Warriors game before that. Timing matters. Wins can quiet noise, but viral clips bring it right back. What makes it even more interesting is that publicly at least, Luka and JJ Redick have seemed solid for about a year now. Since Luka arrived in Los Angeles, their relationship has looked respectful, even friendly. After the Sacramento win, JJ was full of praise, talking about Luka's performance. He broke down his decision making, his pacing, his leadership.
Yeah, I mean, there's Coach K used to always use the word daring. You know, there's a daring to Luka's game. It's what makes, you know, one of the many reasons that makes him such a special player. But he had a stretch there in the third quarter where he really struggled.
It wasn't surface level praise either, it was detailed and intentional. And generally these two have shown good chemistry on the sideline. They joke around, they compete in practice. There's even that ongoing half-court shooting battle they run during workouts, trading deep shots like it's a personal contest. That doesn't look like 2 people who can't stand each other. It looks competitive, but in a healthy way. So maybe this moment isn't about JJ at all. Maybe it's about something deeper. Because if you zoom out, there's been this lingering sense that Luka hasn't fully embraced playing in Los Angeles. He doesn't come off as energized by the spotlight. He doesn't look like someone living out a childhood dream in purple and gold. Sometimes he looks detached. Go back to his introductory press conference after the trade from the Dallas Mavericks. Watch the body language. The smile doesn't quite reach the eyes. The tone feels flat. When he held up that Lakers jersey, it didn't scream excitement. It felt heavy. And the answers he gave had this quiet undertone, like someone still processing a breakup. And that's what it was in many ways. In Dallas, Luka built something. He grew up in that organization. He developed friendships inside that locker room. He had a strong bond with Kyrie Irving. That wasn't just basketball, that was personal. He believed he was building towards something lasting there. Let's not forget, he led Dallas to the NBA Finals. They pushed through the Western Conference and made it to the biggest stage. Yes, they lost 4-1 to the Boston Celtics, and yes, it wasn't a competitive series, but they got there. That matters. That's a contender's path. From Luka's perspective, he likely felt like he was on the verge of something special with a team that drafted him, trusted him, and built around it. Then suddenly he's traded, no warning, new city, new system, new expectations. That's a lot for any superstar to process. And so when people see a sideline exchange and immediately jump to team meltdown, they might be missing the bigger emotional layer. This might not be about JJ, it might not even be about that single moment. It could be about adjustment, about identity, about leaving behind something he thought would last his whole career. And when those feelings are still lingering under the surface, even a small exchange can look bigger than it really is. And this is where it gets uncomfortable. I just don't think Luka fully feels like he belongs in LA right now, and a big part of that, in my opinion, traces back to how chaotic this Lakers organization has been over the last several years. The instability, the power shifts, the politics, and yes, whether people like it or not, LeBron James sits right in the middle of that storm. LeBron has shaped the culture everywhere he's played. That's not even controversial. That's history. Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland, now Los Angeles. His presence changes front office decisions, coaching hires, roster construction. That's just reality. And the Baxter Holmes article that dropped about a month ago pulled the curtain back on internal tensions inside that franchise. Ownership disagreements, power dynamics, frustrations behind the scenes. It painted a picture that wasn't exactly peaceful. When you combine that kind of environment with a superstar who just got traded away from the team he grew up with, you start to see why things might feel off. Because on the court, Luka doesn't look like the same guy we saw in Dallas. In Dallas, he played with visible joy, fire, emotion. He celebrated big shots like they meant everything. He argued calls with passion. He competed with swagger. That energy was part of his identity. Now, there are flashes, sure, but night to night, something feels muted. The body language looks heavy at times. The smiles don't come as often. It feels more mechanical than emotional. And for a player who used to wear his heart on his sleeve, that shift stands out. The pieces on this Lakers roster don't always look natural together either. It doesn't scream championship contender. It feels like overlapping agendas, subtle tension, and a lot of passive messaging happening under the surface. And when you have strong personalities at the top, every little crack gets magnified. Maybe the solution is drastic, and maybe this offseason is the real turning point. Maybe the Lakers finally transition fully away from the LeBron era. Maybe they reset the hierarchy completely, because let's be honest, JJ Redick's hiring raised eyebrows at the time. Many saw it as a LeBron influence move. Fair or not, that perception exists. And here's the thing. The Lakers just committed 3 years, $165 million to Luka. That's serious money. That's a statement. But 3 years moves fast in this league. If they want Luka to be a long-term cornerstone in Los Angeles, they have to build an environment that revolves around him, not halfway, not split leadership, fully. That means making him feel valued, making him feel heard, making him feel like every decision is geared toward maximizing his prime. Because if that feeling doesn't take root, those 3 years will fly by quicker than people expect, and the clock is ticking. Right now, the Lakers sit in the 6th seed. That sounds decent, until you realize they're only 2 games ahead of the Phoenix Suns and flirting with the play-in tournament. One bad stretch and they're right back in survival mode. Even if they stay at 6, that likely means a first-round matchup with the Houston Rockets. And if they slide, it could be the Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder waiting, and none of those paths look easy. In fact, they look dangerous. We could realistically be staring at another early playoff exit, and that would mark the 6th time in 8 years during the LeBron tenure where the Lakers either miss the playoffs or fail to win a single series. That's not dynasty talk. That's instability. If that happens again, the organization has no choice but to look in the mirror. The focus has to shift completely to Luka Dončić and what the next chapter truly looks like. Not nostalgia, not legacy protection, future planning. Because if the Lakers are serious about building around Luka, then tough decisions are coming, real ones. Now I want to hear from you. Wait, do you think Luka is truly happy in LA, or is this just growing pains? Drop your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into what's really happening behind the scenes, make sure you like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video.